Because when I look around, 14 years of chaos and crisis have pushed people to the brink, stretched charities like yours beyond their limits, and damaged the social fabric that ties us together.
So when Keir Starmer gave a speech at the Civil Society Summit where he mentioned the Tories' use of culture wars to distract from their terrible record over the last 14 years, it of course was used to stoke the culture war further, with some commentators saying that Starmer was woke for addressing his concerns at the Conservatives' attacks on the National Trust and the RNLI. Let's take a listen. First, he sets the scene about the need for looking out for each other.
And look, I'm not here to talk about the Tories today, but I know over the last 14 years, you've carried the burdens of their failure. The Trussell Trust expected to provide more than 1 million emergency food parcels this winter. I know that during the pandemic, you saved lives. I think of the vaccination clinics I visited in places of worship. I know that during a decade of division, you held communities together, like the neighbourhood groups who knocked on doors during COVID, checking in on people they didn't even know, just to make sure they were all right.
So now he takes a dig at the Tory culture wars.
And instead of seeing this as a model that should inspire us and drive us forward, the Tories seem set on sabotaging civil society to save their own skins. They've got themselves so tangled up in culture wars of their own making that instead of working with Royal National Lifeboat Institution, an organisation the late Queen was patron of for 70 years, to find real solutions to stop the small boats, their rhetoric has helped demonise them. Instead of working with the National Trust, so more people can learn about and celebrate the culture and our history, they've managed to demean their work. In its desperation to cling on to power at all cost, the Tory party is undertaking a kind of weird McCarthyism, trying to find woke agendas in the very civic institutions they once regarded with respect.
So there you have it. I believe the point he's making here is simple. The Tories are cooking up culture wars to save their skin at the detriment to national institutions.
Let me tell you, waging a war on the proud spirit of service in this country isn't leadership. It's desperate, it's divisive, it's damaging. And it comes to something when the Tories are at war with the National Trust. That's what happens when politics of self-preservation prevail over commitment to service. People who are getting on with things that actually matter, saving lives, supporting those in need, serving others, get caught in the crosshairs of division and distraction.
Click here for the BBC being mean to Tory Hugh Merriman.